Sure.
You began by singing in a church choir when you were a young boy.
Well, yeah, that's what they say, but not truly like that. I wasn't a church choir. There was a little church nearby, and every now and then, and it wasn't my family's church. I just would go in there and just kind of sing every now and then, but it wasn't a choir.
Is that where you really discovered your voice, though, where you discovered you did have that singing ability?
No, I think it was basically on my back porch with my mom. My mom was a piano teacher, so I sit back there with her, and she'd play some songs, and I would sing along with her.
Tell us about the Turks, a group that you were involved with as a teenager.
Yeah, that was just a neighborhood, bunch of neighborhood guys that I grew up with in Norfolk, Virginia, and we used to hang around Mr. Boone's grocery store, and in lieu of something to do, we just stand around the mailbox out there and sing. It wasn't a big, exciting town in Norfolk during those days. Singing was a very, very exciting thing to do. No, we had a great time doing it, though. I think a lot of kids did it back then.
Looking back on that time now, how important do you think it was, that time with the Turks, as far as your development as a singer and a performer?
Very much. Mainly because we weren't very good singers. You have to understand that. We were all just learning. We were probably some of the worst harmony you've ever heard, but it got me into the position to work with my mom on the piano. She would teach me some chords. She would teach me some chords and stuff, and I would just kind of relay it to the guys and say, well, I think we should sing this, we should sing this part, and after a couple of years, we kind of got it together till it almost sounded really good. We won a couple of school contests, so we weren't doing too bad.
I'm sure you've had to answer this question many times before in your career, but can you give us the official story of how you got the stage name of Gary U.S. Bonds?
That's another thing that's kind of weird. That was given to me by the guy that owned the record company at the time, which I didn't know he had given it to me until the record was actually on the air. And I'm sitting on my front porch with me and my mom and couple of friends, and then Jack Holmes was the radio DJ back then on WRAP, and I heard him announce we have a new recording out by a young man from right here in Norfolk, Virginia. Let's give a listen to it and see if we like it. It's a song called New Orleans by U.S. Bonds, without the Gary. And I went, man, what is that? And then they started playing. I went, oh, my God, somebody stole my song. So that was the first time I'd heard that the U.S. Bonds was my name. Didn't like it very well. Didn't care for that U.S. Bonds thing until I got the first check. And then all of a sudden it made a lot of sense to me.
So they didn't have to convince you to take on the name full time?
Well, yeah, they even convinced me to just add it on. I'd put an Add Gary to it. If the checks get any bigger, I will have the longest name in history.
As you just said, success came to you rather quickly with your first two singles, in fact, being substantial hits. Were you rather overwhelmed by it all? How did you cope with suddenly being thrust into the limelight like that?
Oh, that was wonderful. I mean, to be a celebrity in Norfolk, Virginia, it was like you're king of the circus, you know. You're the high wire guy, you know, Mr. Trapeze himself. And no, it was great. I mean, we didn't really know what we were doing. We were kids, you know. It was just nice to be out there. You get a chance to see a lot of girls at that age, and take a couple of shekels and go out there and buy a brand new spanking car. That was exciting.
Yeah, like a big adventure.
Yeah, back then, of course. Hey, it's a big adventure now.
Tell us the story of the recording of Quarter to Three. It was previously a hit for another group under another title, wasn't it?
It was Daddy G's, the sax player, Gene Barge. It was his recording called A Night with Daddy G.
That's right.
And but it wasn't doing that well out on the market, and everybody thought it was a pretty good song. Just needed some lyrics. So I wrote some lyrics to it one day while we were goofing around and having a couple of meetings at the studio, and came back out and I went, "Hey guys, what do you think of this?" He said, "Well, let's try it." So we recorded it right then. Back then it's only 2 tracks, so it didn't take long to set up.
Yeah.
And we put it down. I guess I don't remember it taking too long to do it, and left it with Frank. And a few months later, it was up on the charts.
Did it sound like a hit to you straight away? Were you confident of its success?
No, it didn't sound. Nothing sounded like a hit to me back then. I thought it was pretty bad actually. But I haven't picked a winner yet, so nobody looks for me for hits. Nobody will ask me, "What do you think of this?" Oh, Gary doesn't know.
Now, I believe you headlined over the Beatles on an early tour before they were major stars.
Yeah, well, they weren't the Beatles. I forgot what they were. Just a backup band back then.
Yeah.
But me and I think Roy Orbison, Gene McDaniels, and somebody else on the tour back in Europe. But they were just they hadn't even recorded yet.
Do you remember them well from that tour?
No, not really. I mean, they would come in, we'd do the show. They were pretty bad. And I remember we got back to London after the first, because London was our home base.
Yeah.
And when we got back there, we got together and fired them, and hired another band, and they were worse than they were. So when we got back again to London, we rehired the future Beatles, and it worked out from there.
Right. So you couldn't see their star potential shining through yet at that early stage?
Well, they were just basically, the rock and roll had just started moving then, and especially over there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just getting the hang of it, and they hadn't quite gotten the hang of it by the time we had gotten there. But it didn't take them long to learn after. They picked it up pretty good right after that.
How active did you remain musically after the hits stopped coming there in the 60s and the 70s? Did you continue performing regularly?
Yeah, I did. But smaller venues, of course, and there was a lot of the hotels, that you could get in, get a few people in a night, and you had to deal with the drunks and all that stuff. But it was a living. It was still fun. It was still rock and roll. So that was my cup of tea.
You've had many songs of yours recorded by other artists over the years as well. Any particular that hold a special place for you?
Well, only the one country one, which a friend don't take her. She's all I got. Johnny Paycheck did, and Tracy Byrd, and God knows who else. That one, which is another one that I thought was probably one of the worst records I've ever written, and it turned out to be the one that's been number one about 3 times now on different charts, country, R&B, and some other chart. Again, don't ask me to pick a record for you.
How did the connection with Bruce Springsteen come to be in the 80s?
He came out to see me in Jersey back in the late 70s when I was doing that, those hotels, and I was working a club there, which it always escapes me. I can't think of the name of that club. Very small club up in Jersey. Mm-hmm. And I guess he was just out for the night one night and decided to come by and saw my name up there and said, "Well, let's go in and have a Sody Pop and see what he's doing. And we came in, we did a couple of songs. We did quite a few songs together on stage, and it just struck up a friendship from there. And we've been kind of hanging together ever since.
Were you aware that he had cited you as a major influence on his work?
No, as a matter of fact, I hadn't. He was, like I say, he was getting into the bigger venues and doing a lot of things on the major recording scene, and I was back over in the Holiday Inns and the hotels and stuff, and so and on the road, and didn't get a chance to actually hear what was going on elsewhere. So I was unaware that he was such a big star at that time, you know. But and he still is.
Of course. How did it feel for you having that success again in the 80s? Did it surprise you?
Not really. You know, you could say surprise, but that is what I always strive for. You know, for something, which is what keeps you going out here is excellence, I guess. And yeah, I guess in a way I was surprised, but mainly I wasn't surprised because I knew that was my goal.
Yeah.
You know.
So you hadn't given up hope of ever having, you know, hit singles or hit albums again?
Oh no, that's all I do. That's my job.
Yeah. How much live performing do you do these days?
Still do a lot. You know, I've been kind of hanging out here in the house, which is a studio, for the last few months, mainly because I'm trying to finish up this album. And I've just about got that through now. We'll get back out there in the next, probably next month, and start doing some things, you know. So I think I'm generally out about maybe 120 to 150 dates a year.
That's still quite busy.
Yeah, that's a little much for me, but I love it.
I believe your daughter has been writing with you and also performing with you.
Yeah, she has. Her daughter and my wife. They're both they do background with the show, and my daughter is also my writing partner. She's also a big part of my record company and publishing company.
I guess coming.
In fact, she's smarter than I am, so. And she can pick a record.
She can pick a record, can she? I guess coming from a musical family, I guess it was always inevitable that she would have a career in music as well.
I think so. Yeah. She loves it too. She's a fantastic writer. So, and that's what she wants to do: write and produce more so than sing. But I got her doing it all now.
Now, talking about your hometown of Norfolk, Virginia, you received a special honour there, a Walk of Fame award, which must have been a great feeling for you. Yeah,
that was pretty cool. You know, being that I was the one most likely to go to jail there. You know, and I wound up going the opposite way. You know, and getting up and shaking the mayor's hand and all that. That was pretty exciting because I don't think anybody in Norfolk pictured me ever doing that.
And something else which must have been a lot of fun for you was your appearance in the Blues Brothers movie.
Yeah, that was really good. I mean, I was a chance to get to see some of the guys I hadn't seen in, oh my God, it seemed like 100 years. But and to sit there and be part of musical history as far as that movie is concerned. I thought the music in it was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about the movie content as far as I don't know what it's going to teach anybody how to dance. But it was a great movie, though.
Now, there's recently a live album put out by the King Biscuit people. Tell us a little bit about that one.
That one we did at the Stone Pony over in Jersey, which is, and I kind of do that a lot every year. We usually wind up over there doing, I guess, 5-6 times a year. But it's no longer there now, as a matter of fact. But they're getting ready to build another one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's we just decided, well, before they go, I'd like to do something there that I can remember the old Stone Pony adventure about. Because Jersey's always been a really, really good area for me to go into. And I love going there. The people are fantastic. And the Stone Pony is the rock and roll scene of all scenes, and as far as I'm concerned, from the days back on up to now. And I love it. We did the whole album there, and I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah. How long ago was that recorded?
What was it, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
I believe it 2 years ago.
Right, and that's pretty much your current band as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, same guys. I can't get rid of them. I think I owe them money.
Now, you mentioned you are working on a new album. I believe it's very much in a blues direction.
Yeah, we call it blues. They keep changing the names on these songs so much, you never know what you're singing anymore. But I think they still call it blues. I call it Roadhouse Blues.
Okay.
But it's actually songs like in the vein of what I used to do before I even recorded. You know, when we were singing with the Turks and with the little juke joints in and around Norfolk.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And they were fun songs, you know, so it was kind of based on that. And then there's a couple of good surprises in there. But most of the songs we've done are written by me and my daughter and my guitarist, Mark Leinbach.
Right, so it's just yourself with your band on that album?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And, well, we're going to have a few guests on there. It looks like we got a commitment from a few guys, you know.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully, we haven't done that yet. We're going to do that this month. You know, Robert Dickie Betts is going to be on there. And
oh, tremendous.
Southside Johnny and Kim Wilson, Phoebe Snow. And we're trying to see if we can get two guys from Jersey to get on there, too. And that may come about.
Fantastic. And what label's going to be putting that one out?
We're going to do a licensing deal with probably MC Records.
Okay.
You know? That's what it looks like so far.
Is that worldwide, or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tremendous. I will look forward to that. Have you got a projected release date on that one yet, or?
Not yet. All that's going to be worked out in fact, this week. You know, we're going to work everything out and get it down, and we got about 20 songs on there, which we got to whittle down to at least 12.
Uh-huh.
You know, and that's another pain because I love them all, and I don't know what to do.
That's always a difficult job, isn't it?
Pick 'em.
That's always a difficult job, isn't it?
Yeah, let Laurie do that.
Now, away from music, and something I'm sure you're very passionate about is something called the Global Village Market. Yeah,
we've been doing that for years for the feeding the kids and especially over in Africa and so forth, different third world countries. Still doing that. Get a chance to travel with Muhammad Ali and a bunch of these stars all over the country, and deliver food and watch faces smile.
Mm. How did you get involved with that organization?
That was my friend of mine, Yank Barry, who is now living in the Bahamas, and he's got me involved in that. He was also a musician, and then I couldn't figure out why he would be calling me. He said, you want to get involved with a food company? The only thing I know how to do with food is eat it. I don't know how to cook it. I don't know anything else about it. Talked me into it, and I've been traveling with him. You know, he's the CEO, and a very, very smart man, and a very, very, really, really nice man, and I enjoy that. And to be with Muhammad Ali is like, God, that's great.
Mm. To put a smile on those kids' faces would be worth all the hit records in the world, I would imagine.
Oh, you better believe it. You better believe it. It certainly swells the heart.
Yeah. Just to finish up, Gary, as a true survivor in music, what do you see as the key ingredient to long-term survival in such a cutthroat business?
Well, just keep your eye on the prize. There's always going to be somebody out there that's looking to fold your tent, but you could spot them right away if you keep your eyes open and just continue doing what you want to do. And you yourself as an artist or a musician, whatever. Don't think about doing anybody right. I mean, this is probably one of the most friendliest businesses in the world, where you can meet a lot of great people in this business that aren't cutthroats, but you only hear about the cutthroats.
Well, Gary, thanks for your time.
You bet.
Much appreciated. It's great to hear that you're still working hard and still passionate about your music, and we look forward to that new album. And hopefully, maybe we'll keep our fingers crossing and follow it up with a visit down here. We'd love to see you.
Oh, I'd love to go there, man. That would be it's the quintessential thing in the world. The quintessential thing. Love to be there.
That would be great. All the best, Gary. Best of luck with finishing off the record, and we'll look forward to hearing that.
All right, buddy.
And thanks again for your time.
All right, Jay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.